Tech layoffs are running wild all across America and all across the West right now due to a recession that we're kind of in already. There have been 12,000 jobs cut at Google, about 2,000 jobs cut at Microsoft, and countless other companies have been firing top-level software engineers and other web developers and anyone who's got a good high-paying role in tech. Their job is at risk if they haven't already been laid off. Now in this video, I'm going to explain to you how you can make a transition from a tech career to a finance professional earning a similar high salary, working in quite similar tasks within top investment banks and other major finance firms that have a high demand for tech roles, particularly now. So let's get started. The first thing I wanted to point out was the high-paying roles that do exist within finance for technology professionals. Is not just the major tech firms like Google that do pay well for your expertise. If you're working at Morgan Stanley, for example, as some of the statistics I'll show on the screen, a software engineer analyst could earn from $70,000 up to a significant sum of $270,000 over the course of their career, whether they're going from a software engineering analyst to a software engineering management executive director. So that's important to consider. I know if you have the technology skills, you're working in coding, any particular tasks around software engineering and so on within the tech industry, you probably just want to stick to that. But there are opportunities outside of that direct tech industry in the finance industry where you could earn a high salary. And the average total compensation does vary depending on where you're based. If you're in New York, for example, the salary could be $190,000, whereas in London or other countries it could be a bit lower. In London, still a decent salary, $150,000, right? So it's worthwhile considering. You're going from working in the technology industry to working in the finance industry, earning a similar high salary, bringing that expertise, broadening your CV, your resume, and your skill set to show you're not just a tech guy, you can understand tech and finance, which is increasingly collaborating quite closely under FinTech companies and so on. So it's worthwhile considering that those two industries kind of merge and collaborate a lot more. If you have that skill set by being able to work in both and not just one, it'll be better for your long-term career options and your ability to demand quite a high salary. Now, my experience working at Morgan Stanley, I am a Morgan Stanley ex-director. I worked there for about 4 years or so, as well as working 3 to 4 years at Goldman's and HSBC on the sales and trading floor. In terms of Morgan Stanley specifically, they do have a good focus on the tech team. They are quite highly valued and highly paid from what I've heard. And they are kind of prominent, particularly say on the trading floor, because they do support things like algorithmic trading, which is increasingly in demand, e-trading, which is electronic trading, where they use a lot of more complex metrics and trading modules in combination with highly skilled coders to plan ahead for potential investment. So it's worthwhile considering your opportunities there. The second point I wanted to mention was around Citadel. Right? Citadel is a major hedge fund, and this is a good example of where they're prioritizing hiring people who have experience within the tech industry. In Miami, for example, their Miami headquarters, this is a major hedge fund, right? They've hired some people from Apple to be the head of collaboration and productivity. They've hired someone from Google to be their chief workplace officer. And it's interesting in this case, these particular hires. Now, what they've looked to do in this case is essentially hire people who understand the tech workplace culture and replicate that within finance. So the finance industry realized they're losing a lot of good talent to top tech firms that do pay well, like Google and Microsoft and so on, because a lot of people, when they're at university, they're thinking, should they focus on finance or tech? They look at the job opportunities, the salary opportunities, workplace flexibility, things like that. And they go and work in the tech industry. They work at Google, work at Microsoft, get paid a lot of money, maybe be able to work from home. They have a smart casual approach. They don't have to come to the office and wear suits and ties like some of the finance industry, which is a bit behind the times in terms of how culture has changed and become a bit more smart casual. So in this case, you can see, like I said, they hired a workplace officer, they've hired a collaboration productivity head of that department, which might sound like a kind of airy-fairy jobs, but what it really is saying is that the major finance firms, they want to implement some of the workplace culture that you see within the tech industry that isn't as, stuffy and maybe, like I say, suit and tie type of attitude. They want it a bit more relaxed and a bit more work friendly, a bit more employee friendly. Now, the third and final point I want to make is how you could leverage similar skills, right? So all you really need to do if you want to shift from shift from tech to the finance industry is essentially leverage your coding skills, leverage your software engineering skills, and everything you've learned around that. For example, agile method in terms of structuring projects, management skills you might have learned, and collaborating with others. You just need to take that and add some finance knowledge to it. So add tech industry knowledge, add some finance knowledge, and you'll be able to move forward in a career in the finance industry as a tech expert. And you'd be able to, for example, complete a professional qualification, as many people do in the finance industry, to get up to speed with some of the basics. You could do a CISI qualification, which we have in the UK, on derivatives or securities or financial regulation, depending on what part of the bank you're working in. So you can quickly get up to speed with that within the space of, I would say, a few months to a year of understanding how the finance industry works. And that won't be too complicated for you, because if you understand coding and you're a skilled coder, you have the mental ability to kind of learn about finance and the complex elements of finance. It's not all complex, but if you have the skills to code, you have the skills to understand finance. It's not that much of a jump in terms of mental capacity that you'll need. And also, like, there's so many growing areas of finance where they do use technology, like algorithmic trading, cryptocurrency, and the security initiatives around that, and how to manage cryptocurrency. You need some technology skills there. Information security is big at any bank or major financial firm. Cybersecurity, technology infrastructure for all the different trading platforms being used, for all the different locations that team members are based in. So there's so many different tech skills you can leverage at a major finance firm. You shouldn't just see, oh, that's a bank, that's a hedge fund, they need finance guys. They do need a lot of technology contacts, technology employees that are quite highly paid. So that's a good transition for you to consider. So just to finish up here, as you can probably see on my screen right now, the tech layoffs is a major concern for many people within the tech industry, and major thousands and thousands, tens of thousands of people losing their job in the tech industry. If you want to make the move to finance, it is highly paid, as we've seen at Morgan Stanley in point 1. And then point 2, you can see in Citadel, a major hedge fund, they're looking at using the technology workplace culture that they want to implement within finance. So that's another good option there. So not just if you're working as a coder within the tech industry or a software engineer, also people who work in HR and recruitment and things like that, and workplace culture, you can always shift from tech to finance and leverage those type of skills. And then lastly, point number 3, as I say, it's a similar skill set, coding with a bit of financial knowledge, complete a few professional qualifications over the course of 6 months to a year, and that will dramatically boost your ability to get a job at a top finance firm earning a high salary within their technology department. I hope you found that video helpful. Check out the 2 recommended videos in your screen right now and the free ebook in the description, and I'll see you next time.